Apple just introduced a new Apple Creator Studio subscription. Yes, this includes Final Cut Pro for the Mac in a subscription. Is Apple going to turn into another Adobe? Well, don't panic yet. I'll cover all the details, including the fine print that some others miss. I'm Don Bullock, and welcome to the Tech iHound. I woke up Tuesday morning and checked my Facebook like I always do. I check in on the Basset Hound owners that I know that are all over the world, and this popped up in my feed. Like many of you, I panicked as soon as I saw this. My immediate thought was, has Apple finally succumbed to the subscription model? Are they going the same route as Adobe and recently Canva with Affinity?
What you experienced today was a panic attack.
I immediately thought Apple's done it. They put Final Cut Pro in a subscription along with Logic Pro, Pixelmator Pro, Motion, Compressor, and Main Stage, plus new AI features and premium content for Keynote, Pages, and Numbers, and they put it behind a subscription paywall. Yes, I said subscription, and now I'm going to have a monthly or yearly subscription to use Final Cut.
What have they done?
Not what I wanted to hear and expected from Apple, though there have been rumors about this for many years. And it's one reason I held off buying Final Cut is because of those rumors. But after I read the fine print, I relaxed. It states, one-time purchase versions of Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Pixelmator Pro, Motion, Compressor, and Main Stage are available on the Mac in the App Store. And what most seem to miss when they start talking about this is the following, quote, one-time purchase Mac users and Apple Creator Studio subscribers can experience blazing fast performance with Apple Silicon for the most demanding workflows and get into the creative flow faster than ever with these new on-device intelligent features that make video creation effortless and easy. Yes, they said that those of us who have bought Final Cut Pro and the other apps will get these features. We will get these upgrades. What this means is that Apple is still supporting standalone versions of these apps. Both the standalone versions and subscription versions will get the same upgrades. As we used to say in programming computers, end of line. That's it. That's what it says.
That was close.
Whew, yeah, disaster averted.
So at face value, this subscription is an addition to what Apple has been offering, not a switcheroo. They're not switching it out like Adobe did. Those of us who have bought some of these apps will have the same upgrades as everyone else. Just to be clear, this statement covers features or app upgrades and not what Apple refers to as premium content. I'll say more about this later. Now, in case you're wondering, Apple states that free versions of Keynote, Pages, Numbers, and Freeform continue to be available and are included with every new iPhone, Mac, and iPad. And I'm assuming that iMovie and GarageBand will still be included as well, though they weren't mentioned in this press release. Now for the details of this subscription and why those of us who have bought some of these apps may still benefit from it.
details. We have to be thinking about those details.
Apple Creator Studio will be available on the App Store beginning Wednesday, January 28th for $12.99 per month or $129 per year. With a 1-month free trial, Creative Studio can be shared with up to 6 family members without any additional costs. And there's special pricing for college students and educators, which is fantastic.
It comes at a great price.
When compared with Adobe, that's not much. Yes, as some have pointed out, Apple might raise the price on us.
Got a little bad news for you, Eddie. Yeah, what? Little price hike.
But that's not what they normally do. In April 1999, at NAB, Apple first introduced Final Cut Pro for $999. Then in 2007, Apple sold it as part of their Final Cut Studio for $1,200. So today's price of $299.99 is certainly lower than that. That dramatic price change came in 2011. So the current price has stayed the same for 15 years. In my opinion, the chance of Apple increasing subscription price is very small, especially if it helps to sell hardware. And in my opinion, again, that's their goal. Before you get too excited, though, the possibilities of this new offering, you have to do something and check your Mac or your iPad to see what it's capable of doing and check it with what's necessary to run these apps on your device. The list is far too complex for me to put in here, so you need to go check before you get too excited about all of this. What I can say is you'll need at least a device with an M1 chip or better. This new Creator Studio includes access to Final Cut Pro, both Mac and iPad versions, for video editing. Logic Pro for both Mac and now iPad, it's a full-featured music production studio. Motion on Mac for creating real-time motion graphics, 2D and 3D titles, transitions, and visual effects for video. Pixelmator Pro for Mac, and now it's coming to the iPad, is an image and graphic editor, and it's excellent. I've been using it. Compressor on the Mac for transcribing and encoding media files into various formats or different platforms. Mainstage on the Mac, which turns the Mac into an instrument, voice processor, or guitar rig. Notice this includes some key additions to what we have. Some apps have been added to the iPad, which is great. Another thing to consider here is the current subscription to Final Cut Pro for the iPad is $49 per year or $4.99 a month, which is now included in this new Creator Studio subscription. That alone, as far as the yearly subscription is concerned, is over 30% of the cost of this new Creator Studio subscription. They are also bringing Pixelmator Pro to the iPad and have created an all-new touch-optimized workspace with full Apple Pencil support and the ability to work between iPad and Mac, and all of the powerful editing tools users have come to appreciate on the Mac in Logic Pro have also been added to the iPad. This adds a lot of sound-based features to the iPad that haven't been there before. These additions will be added value to many of the people that use Final Cut Pro. Something else I noticed will be very helpful for those who use Motion. Magnetic mask comes to Motion, allowing users to isolate people, objects in their footage, and customize backgrounds and environments without using green screen. And this is really going to be a great added feature for those of you that use Motion. I've used Magic Mask a lot in Final Cut Pro and have really enjoyed using it. Many of the new features that are included in this subscription and in the standalone apps are too numerous for me to add in here, but I'll mention some others too. You ask what's new in Final Cut Pro with this? Glad you asked. Right off the bat, they've included several high-level features. The first of these is beat detection. Beat detection makes editing video to the rhythm of music fast and fun, giving users a new way to see musical beats, bars, and song parts right in their project timeline, not in another app. Then they have added the feature called transcript search. With transcript search, Final Cut Pro users can easily find exact or related sound bites by simply typing a phrase into the search bar. Another is visual search, which precisely identifies moments across the footage when searching for an object or an action. For the iPad version, they've created Montage Maker. The new Montage Maker in Final Cut Pro for iPad lets users kickstart their edit in just seconds. Using powerful AI, Montage Maker will analyze and edit together a dynamic video based on the best visual moments within the footage, with the ability to change the pacing, cut the music track, and intelligently frame horizontal videos to vertical videos. Yeah, some of you want that, I know. Remember, with Apple, all these AI features are done on machine. They aren't being sent up to the company's cloud. Yes, Adobe changed their TOS, but only after the outcry of users. Just saying. You'll be able to use those features when you're sharing video across the various social platforms. Apple seems to be more committed now to producing and providing tools for creators, which is nice. Apple has been very busy. Finally, we're seeing the possibility of Apple catching up with others for creative apps. Hopefully, the upgrades like these will continue to come. So what about this announcement for those of us who have bought Final Cut Pro and any of the other apps included in this subscription? First of all, it gives us the option to subscribe to get the added apps we don't currently have, plus use some of them on iPads. I, for example, have been considering buying Motion for the Mac. Would it be cheaper for me to subscribe or just to buy it outright? I'll have to look at that. Is adding more apps to the iPad a reason for me to subscribe? As an iPad user, it may be tempting, but it's not something that I need to do right away. For now, based on what information Apple has provided so far, I'm fine and I can expect the same upgrades to Final Cut Pro and Pixelmator, which are the apps that I already own from this subscription. Perhaps the biggest advantage of this subscription plan, unlike many others, is that it's available on a month-to-month basis. Anyone can just sign up for a month, create a project, and turn off the subscription, and it's just $13. That may be tempting for some of you. In fact, I know some people who have already been doing that with the iPad version of Final Cut Pro. There's another big advantage to this subscription model. Creators who can't afford to buy these apps outright can now use them. It lowers the price of entry to creators for these particular apps, which is outstanding and great for Apple. Yes, I've heard the cry, I'm switching to Resolve. Well, if you're switching, please be advised that in the live stream during NAB in 2025, Blackmagic Design CEO Graham Petty, while talking about his philosophy of free upgrades for Resolve, stated,
As you can see, this is a really big release, and there's even more features than this. So DaVinci Resolve 20 is free to download. The paid version of DaVinci Resolve Studio is also free. We'll probably eventually charge some kind of upgrade for this, but for the moment, we're still doing the DaVinci Resolve Studio upgrade free.
So some are speculating that this upgrade change may happen this year at NAB. We have to remember, unlike Adobe and Canva, Apple is mainly a hardware maker. That's where they make up their money, especially in iPhone sales. They don't have to make up all their software production costs by selling software. If people buy more Macs and iPads because of this new subscription, it will encourage Apple to keep the upgrades coming. There's no need to panic.
Calm down, everyone. No need to panic.
Apple isn't coming close to treating us the way Adobe did, and that's a good thing. And don't get me started on that. I could literally take hours talking about what Adobe did. For those of you who are wondering what the total price of the included standalone apps is, I've done the math. It's $679.94, and don't forget the tax if you have that where you live, instead of $229 a year. Again, I did the math for you, and it will take 5.25 years of subscription fees to pay all that off. But you won't get the iPad apps. The choice to subscribe or have the standalone apps is yours.
It's up to you to decide.
And the biggest shot that Apple took at Adobe in this press release is Apple Creator Studio is an exciting subscription suite to empower creators of all disciplines while protecting their privacy. If you know, you know. I'm not going to lie. For years, people have called Apple a walled garden. In using an old phrase, this Creator Studio isn't a bed of roses. Looking at what Apple says in the fine print, some things about this subscription aren't right. Things are missing as well. I'll cover those in my next video. I'll take a deep dive farther into the fine print in the next video. So does this new subscription sound interesting to you, or are you just sticking to the apps you already bought? What are your initial thoughts of Creator Studio? I'll be taking Apple up on their offer, that trial-free subscription, and I'll tell you all what I think. Over here are a couple of videos you might want to watch. Please click on that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and click on that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. I appreciate your support and thank you all very much for watching.